You're listening to the Health and Happiness Podcast with Travis Kemper and
Lauren Maxwell. Each episode, we share easy-to-implement strategies to improve your health, happiness, and overall quality of life. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. Albert Einstein. So how's it going, Travis?
Oh, it's going well. Life is not settling down, but it's all good stuff.
You're just on a wild roller coaster ride, but like all up.
Yeah, we're doing the slow incline right now. Today was our first state championship tournament game with the football team, and
how did that go?
A blast. We won 56-13.
Oh my gosh, you guys are killing it.
Yeah, next week will be a much tougher game. We were the number 1 seed in the playoffs, so we played the worst team in the playoffs.
Gotcha.
They were great kids though, and they have a super talented kid that I would have bet money was a senior.
Oh wow,
he was a sophomore.
Oh, yeah, so wow.
That young man has a very exciting future in football.
That's cool.
And I'm guessing he will stay with it. He seemed like a super cool dude. Our whole team went over and talked to him after, just like they wanted to meet that kid because he's
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's talented. So yeah, they were great sports. It was a good game. Anyway, yeah, so nice. That's going, and life keeps rolling. And and I'm hitting so I had made some goals. Some of my goals for this year for exercise were weightlifting goals, because I got excited about weightlifting when I started working with these kids, and I've almost hit one of my bench press goals.
We're only like 5 months in.
Yeah, well, I told you this is what happens when I make goals.
You did tell me.
I've gone from 1 rep in the beginning of the year. I think I could do 1.
I can say that in the mic. Say that in the mic.
Sorry, I'm going. When I made my goal, I made a goal just to bench 225 for 10 reps, and I think I could do 1, maybe 2. I have it written up on my board in the beginning of the year. And I did 8 this week for my goal of 10. So
nice.
Yeah. So I've, multiplied by 8. So it's going well. And then I squatted 275 this week, which is 50 pounds more than I could squat in the beginning of the year.
Wow.
I tried it a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't even get my legs to bend. Like, my body was just like, nope, we're not doing this. We're not playing this game, dude. So yeah, I'm improving. So it's
nice
fun.
Nice job. Strong work.
Thank you. What's going on in your world?
So Nolan started his new job this last week. This was his first week on the job, which has been, really exciting. And also, like, our whole schedules are kind of flipped upside down right now. His training shift was like a normal 8 to 5, but starting next week, he works 3 to 1:30 a.m.
Ew.
I know, which is like, I wake up like a few hours after he'll get home from work. So we're going to redo our schedules all over again next week. So it'll be very interesting. And if we record another episode next week, I might be slightly sleep deprived. So we'll see.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm like terrible I've gotten better. I talk about how terrible I am at sleeping all the time. But I've gotten so much better, but like, because something in my sleep routine, AKA my husband being there, is going to change, I'm like a little nervous that that's going to throw off the rest of my routine. But I'm just going to keep practicing my normal routine and hope that like everything that I've worked on for the last year remains solid.
Good. I'm sure it'll be okay.
We'll see. I don't have a whole lot of confidence, but thank you for having confidence in me. The other thing that's exciting for me that I did this week.
Why don't you have confidence in your abilities? I don't get this. This is the same as grad school, Lauren.
That's
You're
so
like,
true.
I'm gonna fail the test, and I'm like, Lauren, you have straight A's. You're not gonna fail the test.
But
You
I
know this
did fail a test. I did fail a test
and still got straight A's.
because I had to redo the test. I failed it on my birthday.
Boy,
But that was, I think, kind of a very solidifying moment in our friendship, though, however,
because I made
because
fun of you for failing a test.
no, because then like because I don't know, we worked together during it.
Because you joined my club of the test failures.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. You kind of made me like realize like everything's fine. I think that was your like very first pre-exam pep talk you gave me, and then you gave me about a million more after that because it was like every test I needed you to give me that pep talk. Yes, I struggle with confidence. Anyway, the other exciting thing that I did this week, for me, it's exciting. I took like a whole week and my only exercise was dancing. So I danced pretty much every day this week for like an hour every day. And it was so much fun. And next week I get
Nice
back to my like
job.
normal, like lifting, cardio, blah, 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 blah. But like every 5-6 months, I take like just a week to do something I really enjoy. And this time it was dancing and it was so much fun.
Why don't you like? I mean, you're
Do that
not.
more often?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, in your normal workout time, though, like, I mean, you're not. You don't have goals of lifting more weights, do you?
No, but I want to
Stuff like
keep
that.
getting stronger. So
Well, I understand that, but I mean, do you think that taking out one
yeah,
week
you're right.
every month is really going to make you
Yeah,
weaker
you're
to do
right.
something active that will make you stronger? Because I know
Yeah.
that dancing is good for your hip strength.
Thanks,
Personal
Travis.
experience.
See, this is why I need you in my life, is because you're like, hey, do the things you love that also get you the benefits that you want.
Yeah.
Win-win.
And reward yourself with those things more often.
That's true. See, you give such good advice.
I told you before I left pointing out the obvious.
I know. This is what I need in my life. Thank you. Thank you for being that person in my life. I need you. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we have a special guest. So we're going to interview a gentleman named Chad. And we do the introduction in the actual episode. We're recording this afterwards. And this is a great interview. Chad lost a person of my size in like a year and a half, and just doing simple things. And he's a super nice guy. He's super excited to share his story. And yeah, it went really well, I think.
I think so too. I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right, so we're live. This week we have a special guest. Chad McEwan has agreed to come on and kind of let us interview him. Chad has gone on an extreme weight loss journey that we are very interested in learning more about. So first thing, Chad, just kind of want to know a little bit about you. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? That kind of stuff.
All right. My name's Chad McEwan. I grew up in North Texas, a little town called Dumas. I moved up to Colorado in 1991. Graduated high school. I did 4 years in the United States Marine Corps. After that, I got married, got a job, and started life.
Cool. What do you do for work?
Currently, I'm a electromechanic at Owen, Illinois, and Windsor, Colorado. We manufacture beer bottles.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was very cool. For Coors, I'm guessing, or no?
We got Budweiser's our main supplier or purchaser, but we do Budweiser, Miller, Shock Top, all the little microbreweries, New Belgium. Just if you're buying a bottle in North America, chances are it's coming from this plant here.
Oh, super cool.
That's
Super cool.
awesome.
So you're it sounds like you're a regular guy with a regular job.
Oh yeah.
I know beforehand you mentioned that your wife is your technical expert, so you're obviously married.
Yep.
Any kids?
Yes, she and I just celebrated our 25th anniversary on April 4th.
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we got 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 daughter. My oldest son's 24, middle's 22, youngest is 20, and my daughter just turned 16 on the 27th of April. So,
So one more still in high school.
yep.
So we just kind of ran into each other in an online group that we're both a part of.
Mhm.
And you had mentioned in that group, I think somebody had posted about, they're struggling and they were very heavy at the time. And
Yeah.
you had said something like, I think you at one point started your weight loss journey at 350 pounds. Is that about right?
344 was my heaviest. Yes, sir.
And then I saw your Facebook picture and I was like, unless this guy is a giant, like 7 foot tall, he weighs about what I weigh, which is about 175.
Yep. 175, 5'11.
5'11, 175. So you lost
Yep.
a whole person.
Yeah, I haven't done the math, but I was thinking it was around 168 pounds, maybe.
That's incredible.
So yeah, no, it definitely was an achievement.
Yeah, something you should definitely be proud of.
I am.
So when did that start?
The weight loss journey.
Yes.
So I actually started September of 2018 at 344 pounds is the day I decided I was going to do something about it.
And what made you say, hey, enough's enough, I gotta change this?
Honestly, I got home from work and I was tired, and I was sleeping in a recliner. My daughter had gotten my phone and recorded me sleeping, and yeah, I was having the sleep apnea, and I woke up and she showed me the video, and I was pretty disgusted with myself, I should say. So that was really the tipping point there for myself.
Was this your now 16-year-old daughter?
Yeah, she was about 14 at the time.
And what made her do it?
I guess I was holding my breath and my cheeks were puffing out like a puffer fish. So she decided to record it, and I still have the video. I'm more than happy to forward it to you, and you can check it out for yourself.
Oh, that would be
But,
cool.
I love that.
yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, but yeah, that was when I decided that I was actually gonna do something and keep with it.
But that was your kind of rock bottom point where you said, I'm done with this.
Yeah, that was the tipping point there. Plus I've been feeling like crap and just living a I guess a struggling day to day for years and years. But that there was the point that I can look back and say that's it.
That's when the switch flipped. So
Yeah,
how did
exactly.
you go about starting your weight loss journey?
So, okay, I've never talked to a dietitian. I've never seeked help. I basically learned what I know off of watching YouTube videos. So I quit drinking Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper, and I quit drinking Dr. Pepper. And I just little baby
Yeah.
steps, and then building on that and over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's generally what I recommend to people when I work with people too.
Yeah.
It's like, cut out the Dr. Pepper. It's such an easy one and it's so effective.
Yeah, no, it is. I thought to myself, what can I do right now today to make a change? And that was one of the things I did.
So you started with the Dr. Pepper, and then did you just hit another thing each month, or?
I stopped with the Dr. Pepper. That took a couple of weeks to get out of my system, and then I just started slowly cleaning up my diet and the amount of food that I was eating.
Okay, so just one baby step after
Yep.
another baby
Yep.
step after
For me, it
another.
was baby steps. Yes, sir.
And then I'm guessing at some point you started exercising as well.
Yes. So it was about, March. By that time, I had lost, March of 2019, I'd lost it was about 70 pounds.
Holy
And
cow.
yeah, and
Wow.
I was like, I was amazed that what I was doing was working. So I was like, all right, want to take this a little further. So my wife bought me a Fitbit, and I'm still wearing it to this day.
I
But
love that.
she bought me a Fitbit, right? So wearing the Fitbit, I learned being that heavy, I was burning almost 5,000 calories a day because my job required me to walk a lot.
Mm.
Huh?
So I basically used that Fitbit and a food tracker to calculate my calorie deficit, and I just kind of adjusted from there. So that's when I really started getting into it. And yes, at some point I did start exercising, but honestly, that wasn't until about February of last year when I really got serious into exercising.
Okay, so you lost about 60 pounds in the first, or 70 pounds, you said, in the
Yeah.
first 6 months.
Yes.
Just from changing like
Just
nutrition and
yep.
diet and
Yep.
wow.
Wow.
Just from nutrition and the diet. And I learned that, you know, for me, the key to my weight loss was in the diet. It's not in the exercise that helps, but for me, it's in the diet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what the research shows too, that the exercise helps, but the
Yeah.
diet is going to make the biggest
Yep.
difference in weight,
Yes.
especially. And then
Exactly.
once you get down to your target weight where you're at now,
Hmm.
then the best way to stay down is to start
Yep.
exercising, is what
Exactly.
the research that I've always
Yeah.
read
And
says.
that's basically my YouTube education just taught me as well.
YouTube University,
Yep.
so
Yep.
effective.
That's right.
That's how I fix things in my house.
Oh, hey, I once aligned a satellite dish on my roof because the people couldn't come out for about 2 weeks and they wanted $200. I YouTubed it and I had it fixed in 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yep. So yeah.
45 minutes and
Yep.
free instead of
Yep.
2 weeks and 200 bucks.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Gotta love YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there. You just got to dig for it.
Yeah, and really, you don't even have to dig that far usually,
Yep,
because
that's
somebody
right.
like you has made a YouTube channel that started at 344 pounds and is now a buck 75 or 80.
Yep.
So, when you did this, were you just doing this all alone, or did your wife join in, your kids?
When I first started, it was just me by myself. I mean, my wife has always been supportive of me, whatever I wanted to do, and she's been, my biggest supporter. But when I first started, I didn't tell anybody. I just, because honestly, I didn't think I could do it. I thought I would fail, so I didn't want nobody to know I was even trying.
So you were afraid to make it a public thing
Yeah.
because if you failed, you were going to look like an idiot in your
Yep.
brain.
Yep. Exactly. And
Interesting.
I had tried in the past, and I lost some weight, about 80 pounds, and I quit doing what I was doing, and I gained it and some back.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, so I
And,
didn't want to like anybody to know, so I wouldn't be a failure again, I guess.
and that's understandable. The public
Yep.
failures are much harder to deal with,
Oh yeah.
um, than when you're just letting yourself down.
Yep.
So what do you think made the difference this time? Like, how did you stick to it?
I'm 45 now, and I told myself from day one, this is probably my last best chance. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
That's awesome.
So cool. So you started. You said you started basically with the Fitbit, so not really exercising yet in
Hmm.
March, about 6 months into your weight loss journey. And then when did you really pick up exercising?
I always set a daily step count. I started with 12,000 steps at 300 44 pounds when I got the Fitbit. I've always had a daily step count. So I guess that is exercising there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
12,000 steps, that's a pretty good number.
no,
Yeah.
it is, and I had to work for it, but yeah.
And you were dedicated to that? Like you
Yes.
wouldn't go to bed without that
Yep.
12,000?
I did the 12,000 steps, which I usually didn't have to try too hard because, my job required me to walk a lot and I could hit that almost any given day. So,
Yes, so your
yeah.
job almost allowed you to cheat.
Yes, exactly. It was the little force or the yeah, had to that
Right,
I needed.
right. If you want that paycheck, you
Yep,
better be
exactly.
moving.
Yep, exactly.
You said you work out now, so when did you
Yes.
actually pick up a real workout more than just the steps?
Okay. That was probably about last February when I decided, to really start working out. And I started with jogging. I would say running, but it's a jog pace. So
Okay.
jogging. And back then I started with 1 mile. I did 1 mile and I was surprised I could do it pretty easy. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go a mile and a half. And I went a mile and a half one day and I was like, shit, I still got more in the tank. I'm gonna keep going. And I found out, I could push myself to about 2.5 miles, and that's where I started, about 2.5 miles 3 times a week.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
yeah,
All those steps at work
yeah, yeah.
They
must have
really
Just
paid
helped.
off.
yep, exactly. Baby steps with the exercise too, was my approach there.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one thing we talk about a lot on this podcast too, is just starting with one thing and then building off of that one thing by one
Exactly,
thing by one thing.
exactly. One good thing leads to another, which leads to another, which ultimately adds up.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
compounds.
Yep, that's right.
Are you still pretty much doing jogging as your main exercise?
Yeah, what I do currently to this day is I jog a minimum of 12 to 20 miles per week, depending on my work schedule. Minimum. I will hit at least 12 miles per week regardless.
Wow.
12
Yeah.
miles
And
that's good.
yeah, and I do them in 4 mile increments. So, it's only 3 days a week. But
That is way more than I do. I am not a cardio person at all. That's amazing.
yeah, no, I do the between 12 to 20 miles a week minimum. And I also added some weight training last June. I started trying to basically get rid of all the flabby skin I had under my arms here. So I started doing some strength training and stuff. So that's
How's that
what I
going?
do. Good. From June of last year to where I'm at today, I've added 2 3/4 inches on these biceps there.
Woohoo!
That's cool.
So yeah, no, it's working. So I'm
So
pretty proud of it.
you should be. It
You
sounds
should
like you're a
be.
tracker.
Yeah, I'd like to I mean, anything that you're trying to measure, you have to know where you're at. That way there's something to measure from.
Mhm.
So I like to keep track, yeah.
Yeah, I tell my patients that all the time because they don't, when you're in it, and you can probably attest to this with your weight loss journeys, but when you're in it every day and you see yourself in the mirror every day, or you're doing whatever you're doing, squats, push-ups, it doesn't matter, running, um, you don't necessarily notice the
Yep,
changes that are
Mhm.
happening because they're so small day in, day
exactly.
out.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, I do the same thing with my patients in physical therapy. I tell them, let's figure out how many times. A lot of times it's I've said this on the podcast before. It's like standing up and sitting down as many times as you can in
Yes.
30
Yep.
seconds. And
Exactly.
a lot of my patients are at like 2 to 5 when we start,
Yeah.
and then within a week they'll double that.
Mhm.
which is amazing progress. But if I don't make them understand that they're only at 2 to 5, they don't see it because they went one more each day.
Yes. Yep. And I when I started this, I took a photos, so I've got a little photo library, I guess, of my progress, and I still look at that almost every day, from looking back to where I was, seeing the person I was, to what I see in the mirror
Yeah.
now. I don't even recognize the person,
Yeah.
but that's
What
that's me
what do
though.
you right? What do you feel when you look back at those old pictures of yourself?
Shame,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shame that I didn't start it sooner.
So a little bit of regret there,
Yeah, exactly.
just for letting it go that long.
Yep.
Did you have any setbacks, injuries through this process?
Uh, no, I haven't haven't had any injuries. I maybe setbacks. I mean, you're losing weight, and life comes. You eat a little crappy, you gain a couple of pounds. I would call my couple pounds a setback.
Yeah.
So I'm, of course, yeah, everybody has setbacks.
Are those setbacks usually around Thanksgiving and Christmas?
They can be, but
That's what gets me.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
me too. So what do you tell yourself like mentally when you have those setbacks? How do you kind of bounce back? What's your self-talk there?
Honestly, when I get out of the shower every night, I look at myself in the mirror, and I like looking in my eyes and telling myself, you messed up, starting tomorrow, get back to what you do, keep tracking and keep working on it. And I really don't have any setbacks other than maybe 2 or 3 pounds at the most, because I will not let myself
Yeah.
get set back too far, I
Yeah.
should say.
A lot of personal accountability, it sounds
Yes.
like.
Yep. Exactly.
That's awesome. So when you're obviously you're a much better tracker than I think I am. Um, I
Yeah.
have my
No.
daily vision board where I track things, but I don't do. It sounds like you pretty much have a photo journal of your tracking. So what system do you use to track things?
My Fitness Pal.
Is that where you track everything? Your
Yep,
mile?
that's where I put my food. I use a different. I use a for my exercise and running. I use let me pull it up here. I think it's Strava running app,
Strava.
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
then the Fitbit also's got one, so I do a double there. So yeah,
So
but
basically
for
you're
the
using the
food, it's My Fitness Pal.
MyFitnessPal for food, and then
Yep,
Strava Fitbit combo
yep,
for your miles
exactly.
and your lifting. Yeah.
Yes, yep. You know, compare or sorry, from my wife's point of view, I'm very extreme with the diet and the tracking, to the point where it's an annoyance sometimes for her. But that's just that's what worked for me, and I'm
Yeah.
not going back. So this is what I do from now on.
It's hard to argue with the results you've
Yeah,
gotten.
Absolutely.
exactly.
um so you said your wife's been very supportive. What have your children said to you? I mean, I'm sure there's been conversations about this
Yeah.
drastic change in your life.
No, they're proud of me. When I first started losing weight, and I mean, really losing, my kids would be like, "Oh, that's not my dad," but in a good
Yeah.
Right.
way, but, you know, they're proud of me, and I know that I've set a good example that would something that you really want to change, you can do it.
Yeah. That's a
Do you
huge piece of like life-changing role modeling that you're doing
Yeah,
for your kids to see how committed you are and what it takes to change your life like that.
exactly. I'd like to add one more thing. So, and this is about uh, my job. So the job that I allowed me to get to that is not the job I have now. So I actually I loved the job that I was doing. I was very good at it. I was very high ranking in my organization. I quit it. I found something else, and it was a blessing in disguise. Not only do I'm much more happier, I make more money, I got more time off. It was just a
Oh,
good
wow.
decision there.
Yeah. That's what we like
And
to call a win-win.
yeah, I just wanted to add, I mean, there were certain things in my life that allowed me to get to that, and my mentality was, I can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results, because that's not going to happen. So it was to the point I wanted to change so much that I went out and found something better. But that was
Awesome.
only about
Awesome.
halfway through my journey when oh shit, I can do almost anything that I think I can. So why not try it there too?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So the change in your mindset that allowed you to change your weight and lose all this weight
Yes.
built your confidence so much that you were like, hey, I don't have to stay in this job that is not allowing me to get everything that I want, basically.
Yeah, it just it allowed me to get that big, I should say,
That's awesome.
because yeah. And one thing I would like to add throughout my whole journey, when I would struggle, I would tell myself, at one point you was a United States Marine, so somewhere deep down in there you got something, you just got to find it.
Well, I think my last big question is, what would you tell a listener that is in your 350-pound shoes, or just looking in the mirror and like, this is not the person that I want to be? What would you tell them that you would do to start, or whatever you want to go with from there?
Yeah, I'm sure you heard this before, but I'm going to say it again, and this is the honest to God's truth. If Chad McEwan can do it, anybody can do it. But somebody at 350 pounds, I would tell them, okay, make a decision, make a plan, and execute it every day. It does not matter how slow you go, as long as you go. So start small and go from there. It don't matter how small, as long as you go, it'll take care of itself over time.
Turns out that just Dr. Pepper was pretty big in the end of the day.
Yeah, I love Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and I like what you said about no step is too small. I've had a lot of feedback from listeners who've listened to our podcast, who've been worried that they're setting goals too small for themselves when they're just getting started. So I like that you mentioned that like it can
Yes.
be something small. If it's meaningful to
Yep.
you and it's hard for you, then it's probably a good goal.
Yeah, I mean, anything small. Maybe if you're drinking 2 cups of coffee, drink 1 cup of coffee, or a cup of coffee and some water, something. Just
Yeah.
anything. You gotta start somewhere. So start somewhere.
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
How can people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you after this episode airs?
Yeah, you can always send me an email at chadmcEwan2@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, if I can help somebody, I'm more than willing. Anybody wants to know my personal story, the nitty gritty, yeah, I'll be happy to share.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you want to add before we sign off here, Chad?
No, just if you're thinking about doing it, do it. Don't wait. It took me, I wish I wouldn't have waited this long in my life to do it. I wish I would have did it 20 years ago. Trust me, if you're younger and you want to do it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't do it now. It's worth it.
That is a perfect place to end. Thank you so
Uh-huh.
much for your time, Chad.
All right, no
We
problem.
really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Of
thanks
course.
for
It's
joining
been-
us. You are definitely a huge inspiration.
Hopefully. So,
Yes. Keep it up.
all right, I will. So,
All right, Chad. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
all right, you guys have a good evening.
You
Thank
too.
you. You too.
Bye. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode and are getting benefits from our content.
If your life is improving in part due to the information in this podcast, we would greatly appreciate you sharing the episode with your family and friends on social media and leaving us a review so we can continue to reach more people and improve the health and happiness of the community at large.
Thanks again, and we will see you next week for another episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast.